What do you call a man who minds his business and go about his very day only working to provide and survive off of the land that he was rewarded? And what do you call another man who sells his brother to another just for profit gain and jealousy? And what do you call a man who buys another man and put him in servitude and coming from a desolate land where he almost starved to death and coming to the land of milk and honey where everything was right and enslaving the people there and using his counterpart who was a Johnny come lately also? What do you call him for playing this whole cosplay game and stealing one's identity and putting on their shoes and acting as if they were them, but doesn't like to use the term Indian? I wonder why, because the Indians described in a lot of books were described as different looking than any Mongolian on this planet, because I never knew a Mongolian to have woolly hair, especially the ones who are mulattoes or Asian mulattoes, to use the word, whose skin was like me. You people stole from the original people of the land in America, and your Mongolian face says it. And when you came here, you were dark, but you laid with the enemy who took the land from you and put you on reservations, as you stole the land from the people who housed you, fed you, and showed you how to toil the land, and showed you medicine and taught you how to build anything. The first Masons on this planet were the American blacks, who are indeed the Flintstone family, or the Masonries, or the traveling men, or Uncle Traveling Max of this land from DuckTales, if you understand symbolism. We are the inventors of most things. This is why nothing is more pristine than the calendars that come in Mexico. And who were the real people of Mexico? And why are these black people in America hated so much? If they were equated to somebody, they would definitely have to be Judah or the Israelites. And stories are just tales, allegories playing off other stories to embolden other men. The whole world used the story of us as they go today and still use the story of us. We are the blueprint in every genre of life. When it comes to artistics, that's us. When it comes to physical prowess, that's us. When it comes to beauty, that's us. That's just why everybody on this planet wants our position. And we started off as the worst people in this race that was rigged. All of you guys have a head start ahead of us in this scene around the world. Anybody can come to America and they will be placed in a better position than the people who were born here and who are indigenous to the land. But you people played a great and brilliant game, but you can never trick the giant when he was sleeping, because when he wake him for find out, there's going to be HELL to pay. And that's what you're reaping now. Karmic law is hunting you down because you don't distort and lie to people about the existence of man. You guys learned from the American people who, in fact, were in America. Camels come from America. So I want you guys to do that research. And when did the flood happen? And put those camels coming from America and think about the flood, because animals were displaced in another place. And like I said, Noah's boat was built in America. The whole story of that is an introduction to when the black people of America left their lands to go to other places. Now, four corners of the earth just got enlightened by the four different brothers, cousins, or family members who entered these bands of people, because these people, before they met them, lived in bands. But people don't want to research Mexico, because Mexico, the Yucatan and the Gulf of Mississippi connect. And guess what? They're connected to their brothers. So the people in the Southeast and the people who resided in Mexico first, who we now call Muskogees, are related to the people of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and starting in Virginia, going all the way down to Ecuador and count the Caribbean islands. These people were basically family members who fell out and fell into beef over resources. But the African Americans are their people in America, all the way down to the coast of Mexico. The Caribbean are their own group of people, but all these people share a common ancestor closer than the Africans. So if I would explain it, they would be Abraham seeds and the children of Adam. And the other people would be Ham and Japhet, the light-skinned race that clicked, and the dark-skinned races of Africa, of the Sudan. These people got together in Africa and made a lighter race. But if you look at evolution seems like it starts in Mexico. But these people gave us the no-look pass, had us looking at Africa. Look at South America. It's fertile. Nowhere in Africa could be eaten over Mexico and the Central Mexico and South America, or Central America and South America. And America are all the three brothers who are directly related. And their other family members come from the adjacent islands. And Virginia was the cutoff, but the people who go up from New Jersey and Pennsylvania and all these places, they are different tribes, like the Seneca, and I'm forgetting some of the names. Seneca, and what else is it in New York City? It's my mind is drawing a blank, but it'll come back to me later. And you could put this all together. It's easy to research these things, and the Library of Congress and these universities all house this information. Brown University specifically, and Harvard. These schools were already there before these people came. There's nothing new under the sun. A trope that we brought to Egypt from America, but people don't want to pay attention to that. Just remember, Google where do camels reside and where they're indigenous to. It's the Americas. So when a catastrophe happened, people moved with the animals to another continent. Now, most food that supplies the world comes from America because we have 4 different sides with 4 different climates and 4 different terrain. Each terrain grows its own unique thing that only grows specifically in those areas, because it seems like America is the center of the earth. But a lot of people don't want to recognize that, because we've been taught in reverse, and taught by people who shouldn't be teachers, Johnny-come-latelys, frauds, who are creating his story. That's why it's easy to bunk, because it's only his story, and it can be walked down by true living people's experience. You can't go to him for history. It's his story. It's not our story. Who should be told by the people who were there, who were ancient. And on all continents, everybody that they encounter, they want to know about where they come from. If you're a great scientist, you should know these things, but you weren't educated at the time. That's why you're playing catch up. Now you have us remembering our past because you told us these lies in your history books. You're the greatest liar and devil on the planet for your mischievous and devious ways, just to seem like you're number one. But what's number one always floats to its natural position. And we are the blueprint. That's why the world followed us when you called us the N-words. But we're greater than that. The joke's on you, because you can never hide the truth. People who are naturally supposed to be on top will always get there. God's plan.